Hello kids, welcome to the Dream Journey. Today we are going to tell a new story about a boy named Theo who finds something magical in the forest. A tiny door hidden in the dream tree. It all begins on a peaceful evening. The sky painted in hues of purple and blue. The soft rustling of leaves whispering secrets carried on the breeze. Theo is a curious boy who loves to explore, and tonight, he hears something unusual. As he walks deeper into the forest, he hears faint whispers, like a song sung by the trees themselves. It's a sound unlike anything he's ever heard. Gentle, soothing, and filled with promise. Theo's heart races with excitement as he follows the whispers. His small feet crunching on the fallen leaves beneath him. He knows he is close. And then there it is. A towering ancient tree with thick, knotted branches and leaves that shimmer like silver stars. It's the dream tree, a legend whispered about in his village, said to hold the secrets of dreams themselves. The leaves above him shimmer brightly in the fading twilight, casting a soft glow across the forest floor. Theo stands there for a moment, eyes wide in awe. How could he have never noticed this tree before? As the evening shadows stretch long, a soft breeze stirs, and for a moment the whispers grow louder, almost like they're calling to him, guiding him closer to something hidden deep within the tree's trunk. And then, as his hand brushes against the bark, Theo feels something. A small, almost imperceptible door nestled among the roots. It's a tiny wooden door, weathered with age, but still very much alive with the magic of the forest. What could be behind it? With a deep breath, Theo crouches down, his heart pounding in anticipation. Slowly, he reaches for the little door, the whispers growing even more excited around him. The moment his fingers touch the cool wood, the door creaks open. Inside, a soft light beckons him forward. As Theo steps closer, the whispers from the dream tree grow louder, now like a soft, melodic hum. The closer he gets to the door, the more he feels as if it's calling him, pulling him in with an invisible thread of magic. The world around him seems to quiet, the forest holding its breath. Even the wind has stilled, as if the tree itself wants this moment to be sacred. With a final deep breath, Theo gently pushes open the little door, his heart thumping in excitement. The door creaks softly, its old wood groaning under the touch, but it opens wide enough for him to slip through. He steps inside and immediately feels a rush of warmth and light. It's not like anything he's ever felt before, soft but full of life. As his eyes adjust, Theo finds himself in a hidden space within the dream tree, like a secret room carved into its heart. The air smells faintly of sweet blossoms and fresh earth, as though he stepped into another world entirely. Before him is a winding path, lined with soft, glowing flowers, each one different from the last, as if they were born from dreams themselves. The flowers shimmer with light, their colors shifting slowly between pastel hues, blues, pinks, and purples that seem to dance in the soft breeze. The ground beneath his feet is smooth, almost like it's made of moonlight, glowing gently as if alive. Theo takes a few cautious steps forward, mesmerized by the beauty around him. He can feel the gentle pull of the garden, guiding him onward. The whispering starts again, now clearer, as if someone is speaking directly to him, welcoming him into this world. The moment he steps further, he hears a soft voice behind him. "Welcome, Theo," says the voice, warm and comforting, yet ancient. "You have found the dream garden." Theo took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the dream garden surround him. Every step he took felt like walking through a soft, glowing cloud. His heart raced with excitement as he slowly moved forward, his eyes wide with wonder at the garden that seemed to stretch on forever. The flowers swayed gently, as though they were greeting him, their colors shifting and changing with each step he took. Some flowers bloomed in shades of lavender, while others sparkled with soft golden hues. The air smelled of sweet, fresh blossoms, and there was a soft hum in the background, a quiet melody like the earth itself was singing. As Theo ventured deeper into the garden, he felt an overwhelming sense of peace. It was as though the whole world had slowed down, leaving only this quiet, magical space behind. And then, just as he thought the garden couldn't get any more enchanting, a figure appeared in front of him. She was tall and ethereal, with a face that seemed to shimmer like the stars in the night sky. Her hair flowed like silver threads, and her eyes glowed with a soft, welcoming light. "I am the Dream Keeper," she said, her voice gentle and warm like the breeze on a summer evening. "And you, Theo, are here to help plant new dreams." Theo blinked in surprise. He hadn't expected to meet anyone here. But the Dream Keeper's presence felt comforting, like he had always known she was waiting for him. She smiled at him kindly, and for the first time, Theo realized that this garden wasn't just a place of dreams. It was a place where dreams were created, where new ones could be planted for the world to enjoy. "Come with me," she beckoned, gesturing for him to follow. "There is much to show you." Theo stood next to the Dream Keeper, his heart still fluttering with excitement. The dream garden stretched out before him like a living, breathing canvas, each flower glowing with a different dream. But now, the real adventure was about to begin. The Dream Keeper's voice was calm and soothing as she explained what Theo's role would be in this magical world. "Dreams, Theo," she began, "are like seeds. They begin as tiny, unseen things, but when you plant them with care, they grow into something beautiful." She gestured to the glowing flowers around them, each one flickering like a star. "These dreams you see here were once tiny seeds, just like the ones you will plant. Each dream blooms differently, depending on the seed and the care it is given." Theo nodded, captivated by the idea of planting something as precious as a dream. The Dream Keeper handed him a small, glowing seed. It was warm to the touch, and as Theo held it in his hand, he could feel it vibrating softly, almost like it had a life of its own. He looked up at the Dream Keeper, who smiled kindly at him. "The first seed you will plant is the seed of kindness," she explained. "Kindness is one of the most powerful dreams. It can spread across the world and touch countless hearts. You will plant it right here in this soft, golden soil." Theo looked down at the glowing seed in his hand, feeling a sense of responsibility. He gently bent down and placed the seed into the soil, his fingers brushing the earth as he did. The moment he touched the soil, the ground beneath him seemed to hum with energy. The seed began to glow brighter, and slowly, a vine of soft golden light began to grow from the soil, curling upward like a soft tendril of light. As the vine grew, it bloomed into a beautiful flower, its petals shimmering in shades of gold and soft pink. It glowed softly in the twilight of the dream garden, spreading light and warmth through the air. Theo stepped back, astonished. He had planted his first dream, and it was already coming to life. Theo watched in awe as the seed he had planted began to grow, curling up from the soil like a delicate vine of soft golden light. The flower blossomed in front of him, its petals shimmering in the moonlight, glowing softly in shades of gold and pink. It was beautiful, and Theo felt a wave of warmth spread through him. This flower was the first dream he had planted, kindness, and already he could see how it brought light to the world around him. The Dream Keeper stood beside him, her eyes twinkling with approval. "See, Theo," she said, her voice as gentle as a breeze. "Dreams are born from the smallest acts of care. Kindness can spread across the world, lighting the way for others." Theo's heart swelled with pride. He had just planted something powerful. He looked around at the other flowers in the garden, each one pulsing with its own light. The dream keeper smiled as she watched him, then gently touched his shoulder. "Now it is time for your next dream," she said. "A dream of adventure." Theo's eyes lit up at the thought. Adventure was his favorite thing in the world. The dream keeper handed him another seed, this one glowing a soft shade of blue, with a faint sparkle around its edges. "This dream will take you on a journey," she explained. "A journey filled with laughter, exploration, and new experiences." Theo held the seed in his hand, feeling its cool, reassuring weight. As he bent down to plant it, he could already imagine the places it would take him. Forests full of talking animals, seas filled with mythical creatures, and faraway lands where magic danced in the air. He placed the seed into the soil, and as his fingers brushed the earth, the garden seemed to come alive with anticipation. Slowly, the ground began to hum again, and this time, a small vine of sparkling blue light began to grow from the soil. It curled upward, and with each twist and turn, it bloomed into a delicate flower that shone with the bright colors of a sunset. The petals seemed to ripple with the promise of adventure, ready to whisk anyone who touched them away to new, exciting places. Theo smiled, knowing that he had helped plant another dream that would fill the world with possibilities. Theo stood back as the flower of adventure bloomed before him, its vibrant colors lighting up the garden in a spectacular display of orange, pink, and gold. He could practically feel the excitement in the air, as if the dream itself was waiting to whisk someone away on a grand journey. For a moment, Theo wondered what kind of adventure would come from this dream. Would it be a daring quest through enchanted forests, or a voyage across vast, mysterious oceans? The possibilities seemed endless. The dream keeper smiled, her gaze warm and approving. "Adventure dreams are powerful," she said softly. "They ignite the spirit, sparking curiosity and bravery in those who experience them. They help children to dream big, to explore the unknown, and to find their own path." Theo looked down at the soil, his hands still warm from planting the seed. It was hard to believe that he, a small boy, had just planted something so powerful, something that could send someone on an adventure somewhere far away where anything was possible. "The next seed," the dream keeper said, "is one of courage." Theo looked up at her, intrigued. Courage. It was a word that seemed so big, yet somehow so simple. He had seen courage in his own life, in the stories his grandmother told him about brave knights and fearless explorers. But planting a seed of courage, that felt different. This would be a dream for someone who needed strength, someone who would have to face their fears. Theo held out his hand, ready to accept the seed. The dream keeper handed him a small, ember-red seed that glowed with a steady, soft light. The seed felt warm in his palm, its energy calm yet strong. He could sense that this was a special kind of dream, one that could give someone the strength to face any challenge, no matter how big or scary. He bent down, gently pressing the seed into the golden soil. Almost immediately, the ground hummed with energy, and from the soil, a vine of deep red began to curl upward. As it grew, the vine twisted around itself, becoming thicker and stronger. Slowly, it blossomed into a bright, bold flower, with petals that shimmered in shades of red, gold, and orange. Strong, steady, and full of light. Theo took a step back, his eyes wide with amazement. He had just planted a dream of courage, and already it was blooming into something magnificent. The flower swayed gently in the breeze, its warm glow casting a protective light over the dream garden. Theo stepped back from the flower of courage, his eyes wide with wonder. The warm light from its petals illuminated the garden, casting a golden glow on everything it touched. The vine was strong and steady, curling up like a protector in the heart of the dream garden. He felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had planted a dream that could give someone the courage to face their fears, no matter how great. The dream keeper's voice was soft as she spoke, her words filling the garden with a sense of calm. "Courage is a powerful dream," she said. "It is what helps us stand tall when we feel small. It gives us the strength to take risks, to face challenges, and to rise again after a fall." Theo nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He had always admired the stories of brave heroes who overcame impossible odds, but he had never thought about courage in quite this way. To plant a seed of courage, to nurture it and watch it bloom. He understood now that it wasn't just about grand adventures. It was about the quiet strength that grew from within. "The next dream, Theo," the dream keeper continued, "is a dream of hope. Hope is what keeps the light alive when everything around us seems dark. It is what helps us see the possibility of tomorrow, even when today feels uncertain." Theo's heart stirred at the thought. Hope. It was a word that seemed so small but so important. He had seen hope in the eyes of his family when things weren't easy, and he had felt hope in his own heart, especially on nights when dreams seemed far away. He was ready to plant this next dream. The dream keeper handed him a seed that glowed softly in shades of blue and silver, like the night sky before dawn. The seed seemed light and airy in his hand, yet there was a sense of deep strength within it, a quiet promise that something beautiful would bloom from it. Theo carefully bent down to plant the seed. As his fingers brushed the soil, he felt a gentle pulse, and the earth seemed to come alive. Slowly, a vine of silver light began to grow, twisting upward with grace. The vine stretched high into the sky, and as it reached its peak, a beautiful flower bloomed, its petals a delicate mix of pale blue and silvery white. The flower seemed to glow with an inner light, casting a soft, peaceful radiance over the garden. Theo stepped back, amazed by the beauty of the flower. It was a flower of hope, a dream that would inspire light and warmth in the hearts of those who needed it most. With the flower of hope now blooming brightly in the dream garden, Theo felt a sense of peace settle over him. The soft, silver glow of the petals seemed to fill the air with quiet joy, as though the very garden itself was breathing a sigh of relief. He took a deep breath, feeling the calm energy of the hope flower surround him. The dream keeper stood beside him, her expression gentle but knowing. "Hope," she said softly, "is what allows us to see the beauty in the world, even in the darkest of times. It helps us believe in tomorrow, in the possibility that something wonderful is always just around the corner." Theo nodded, thinking of the times he had felt hopeful even when things were uncertain, like the times when he wasn't sure if he could make it through a tough day. But somehow, hope always found its way back to him. "There's one more seed, Theo," the dream keeper continued. "One more dream to plant. This one is different from the others. It's a dream of peace." Theo felt his heart flutter at the word. Peace. He had seen it in the quiet moments of his life. The soft hush of the forest at night, the calm of a summer morning. But planting a dream of peace seemed like something even bigger. It was the dream that could settle the hearts of those who felt lost, the dream that could bring calm to the world when it was in chaos. The dream keeper handed him a seed that glowed with soft green and white light, the colors of tranquility and stillness. It felt light in his hand, as though it was filled with the promise of something pure and gentle. Theo bent down carefully, placing the seed into the soil. As soon as his fingers touched the earth, the garden seemed to quiet even more. The breeze stilled, and the soft light from the other flowers dimmed in reverence. From the soil, a vine began to grow, a vine of pale green light that spiraled upward slowly and steadily. As it reached the sky, It bloomed into a flower with soft white petals that shimmered like morning dew. The flower glowed with a peaceful, calming light that spread throughout the garden. Theo stepped back, his heart swelling with a quiet sense of joy. He had just planted a dream of peace, and the dream garden felt even more magical, more complete. The world felt a little lighter, a little brighter. Theo felt the peace flower settle into the dream garden, its calming light spreading through the air like a soft blanket. The once subtle hum of the garden seemed quieter now, as if the world itself was taking a deep, peaceful breath. He looked around at the flowers he had helped plant, each one glowing gently in the twilight. The dream garden had transformed in front of his eyes, from a quiet, glowing space into something full of light, warmth, and possibilities. The dream keeper, standing beside him, watched the blooming flower of peace with a smile on her face. "You've done well, Theo," she said softly. "Each of these dreams will go out into the world and touch the hearts of many. Your kindness, adventure, courage, hope, and peace will spread across the world, bringing light to those who need it most." Theo's heart swelled with pride. He had planted seeds of change, of goodness, and he had watched them grow into something beautiful. Each dream was more than just a flower. It was a promise, a potential for something wonderful to happen. The dream keeper turned to him, her eyes full of wisdom and kindness. "But there's one more thing, Theo," she said. "Dreams don't just grow on their own. They need to be shared, nurtured, and cared for. Just as you've planted these dreams here, you must help them grow in the world outside too." Theo looked up at her, a little confused. "How can I share them?" he asked. The dream keeper smiled and pointed to the small, glowing seed still nestled in Theo's hand, the seed he had carried from the beginning. "This seed, Theo, is your own dream. It is a dream that has yet to bloom, one that only you can plant. But remember, dreams are not meant to stay inside us. You must share your dream with the world, for only then will it truly take root." Theo stared at the seed in his hand, feeling its warmth and energy. It was a special seed, full of potential, just like all the other dreams in the garden. And now it was time for him to plant it, not in the dream garden but in the world. "I will," Theo whispered. "I'll share my dream with everyone." With a final look at the glowing garden around him, Theo stepped forward, ready to carry his dream into the world, knowing that the light of the dream garden would guide him wherever he went. Theo stood in the dream garden, holding the glowing seed of his own dream in his hands. The garden was still, quiet, and full of light, as if waiting for him to take the next step. The flowers of kindness, adventure, courage, hope, and peace surrounded him, each glowing softly, a testament to the dreams he had planted. But now it was his turn to share his dream with the world. The dream keeper's words echoed in his mind. "Dreams are not meant to stay inside us. You must share your dream with the world, for only then will it truly take root." Theo took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility in his hands. This was no longer just a magical garden. It was the beginning of something bigger. He understood now that his dream, his small glowing seed, was a gift. It was meant to inspire, to grow, and to spread light wherever it was needed. He was ready. He looked at the dream keeper one last time, her soft smile encouraging him. She nodded, as though she knew he was ready, as though this was always part of the plan. With a final glance at the dream garden, Theo turned and began his journey back through the little wooden door. As he stepped outside, the world felt different. The forest was still the same, with the same tall trees and rustling leaves, but there was a new sense of purpose in the air. The whispers of the dream tree seemed to follow him, like a quiet promise that he would never truly be alone. He could feel the warmth of the seed in his hand, and he knew that wherever he went, his dream would guide him. The night sky above was dotted with stars, and Theo looked up at them, feeling the vastness of the world and the infinite possibilities that awaited him. He could see in his mind's eye how his dream would bloom, just like the flowers in the dream garden. It would take root in the hearts of those who needed it, spreading kindness, courage, hope, and peace wherever it went. Theo smiled to himself as he walked along the path. He didn't know exactly where his dream would take him, but he knew one thing for sure: it was a journey worth taking. As Theo walked beneath the starry sky, he felt a strange but comforting sensation, like he was carrying the entire dream garden with him. The gentle light from the seed in his hand illuminated the path ahead, casting long shadows across the forest floor. The stars above twinkled brightly, as though watching over him. He couldn't help but feel that he was part of something much bigger now. His dream, the seeds he had planted, and the world outside all connected in ways he couldn't yet fully understand. The path was quiet, and the world around him seemed to be holding its breath. The soft breeze whispered through the trees, the same gentle hum he had heard in the dream garden. He could feel the magic of the garden still lingering in the air, as if the very earth beneath his feet was alive with possibility. He thought about the dreams he had planted, the dreams of kindness, adventure, courage, hope, and peace, and he wondered where they would go. How would they spread across the world? Who would they touch? He knew that the dream garden, with all its glowing flowers, was not just a place of magic, it was a place of potential. And now that potential was in his hands, ready to be shared. Theo glanced down at the seed in his palm, its gentle glow casting a soft light on his fingers. He knew that his journey was just beginning. He wasn't sure where it would take him or what challenges he would face, but he felt ready. The Dream Keeper had given him the gift of dreams, and now it was his turn to give those dreams to the world. As he continued walking, the path before him seemed to stretch out endlessly, filled with endless possibilities. The world was waiting for him, and he was ready to plant his own dream wherever it was needed. Theo smiled to himself, the soft light from his seed lighting the way ahead, knowing that no matter what, he would always carry the magic of the dream garden with him. As Theo continued his journey, the path ahead seemed to unfold effortlessly, as if the universe itself was guiding him. The soft glow of the seed still warmed his hand, casting a gentle light on the world around him. The forest that had once felt vast and unknown now felt like a welcoming space, a place full of opportunity and the promise of new beginnings. Every rustling leaf, every distant call of an owl, seemed to whisper that Theo's dream was not just his own, but something that could touch the lives of others. With each step, he could feel his connection to the dream garden growing stronger. The whispers of the trees around him, the soft rustling of the leaves, felt like the echoes of the dreams he had planted, now carried by the wind to places beyond the garden. He knew that those dreams were not just bound to the garden. They were meant to spread, to reach people who needed them most. Theo thought about the dreams of kindness, courage, hope, peace, and adventure. He imagined how they would bloom in the hearts of those who encountered them. How kindness could bring a smile to someone who felt alone. How hope could light the way for someone lost in the dark. How courage could help someone stand tall when they felt small. He smiled to himself, feeling more and more certain that his journey had a purpose, that the dream he carried would find its place in the world. He walked on through the forest, the quiet sound of his footsteps the only noise in the stillness of the night. The stars above shone even brighter now, as if in approval of the path he was taking. It was as if everything, the trees, the stars, the wind, was part of the dream he had helped plant. And as he continued forward, the world felt more connected, more full of possibilities. With the dream seed in his hand and the light of the dream garden shining through him, Theo knew that his journey was far from over. It was just beginning. And with each step he took, he was one step closer to sharing his dream with the world. As Theo continued his journey, he couldn't help but feel the weight of the dream he was carrying. The soft glow of the seed in his hand was more than just a light. It was a symbol of all the possibilities that lay ahead. He was no longer just a boy walking through the forest. He was a bearer of dreams, a keeper of light, and a guide for those who needed it most. The forest around him began to change. The trees seemed taller, their branches reaching toward the sky, and the air felt richer, filled with a sense of anticipation. The path was still dark, but the light from his seed continued to guide him, casting soft, golden beams that illuminated the way. Every step he took felt like a step closer to something important, something that could change the world. The stars above twinkled even brighter, their light now reflecting the glow of his seed. It was as if the universe itself was joining him on his journey, offering support and encouragement. Theo smiled to himself. He wasn't alone. The garden he had left behind, the dreams he had planted, were all with him, growing in the hearts of people far and wide. As the night grew deeper, the forest around him began to open up. The trees thinned, and the path became clearer. Theo could see the horizon ahead, where the dark sky met the earth in a soft, shimmering glow. He knew that whatever lay ahead, he was ready. The dream he carried was his to share, and the world was waiting for it. The journey was far from over, but Theo felt a deep sense of peace in his heart. The light from his seed continued to shine brightly, lighting the path ahead and reminding him that dreams, once planted, would always find their way. And so, with his head held high and his heart full of hope, Theo continued on his journey, knowing that he was ready to share his dream with the world, one step at a time. As the dawn light touched the horizon, Theo felt an overwhelming sense of calm and peace. The world around him seemed to hold its breath as the stars faded and the morning sky grew lighter. The soft, golden glow from his seed still pulsed gently in his hand, its light now blending with the early morning sun. It was a new beginning, a fresh start, and Theo was ready to continue the journey he had set out on. He took a deep breath, looking around at the world that was waking up around him. The forest was still, but full of promise. The path ahead was clear now, bathed in soft golden light, with the quiet whispers of the trees gently guiding him forward. Theo knew that the dream he carried in his hand was meant to be shared, not just with the world, but with those who needed it most. It wasn't just about planting dreams anymore. It was about spreading them, sharing them, and helping others grow their own dreams along the way. With a final glance at the horizon, Theo smiled to himself, feeling the weight of his journey, but also the lightness of hope that filled his heart. The world was full of possibilities. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew that whatever came his way, he was ready. The seed he carried wasn't just his own dream. It was a gift to the world, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always light to be found. The sun rose higher, casting a warm golden glow over the landscape. Theo stepped forward, his heart filled with quiet determination. With each step, the glow from his seed brightened, and the world around him seemed to come alive with new possibilities. He was ready to share his dream, ready to plant it wherever it was needed. And as he walked forward, the path ahead seemed to stretch out endlessly, filled with the promise of new adventures, new dreams, and a world that was waiting to be changed. Theo's journey continued through the quiet forest, the golden light from his seed guiding him as the world around him woke up to the new day. He had walked for what felt like hours, but the path ahead was still clear, bathed in that warm, comforting light. The trees seemed to stretch higher, their branches dancing in the morning breeze, and the air was fresh and full of possibility. The The more Theo walked, the more he felt the weight of his dream, this gift he was carrying, not as a burden but as something that could change the world. He knew that the seed in his hand wasn't just a symbol of his dream. It was a symbol of hope for everyone he would meet along the way. And the world, with all its challenges and uncertainties, was in desperate need of hope. He thought about the people he would encounter. Would they see the light of the seed as he did? Would they understand that it was more than just a small, glowing object? Would they embrace the dreams of kindness, courage, hope, and peace that he had planted in the dream garden? Theo felt a soft tug at his heart, a quiet whisper urging him forward. He knew that the seed had a purpose. His purpose wasn't just to walk the path. It was to share the light, to plant the seed in the hearts of others, and to help them discover their own dreams. The world was full of people waiting for the light, waiting for something to guide them through the darkness. With each step, the path ahead felt less like a journey and more like a calling. The seed in his hand pulsed with energy, and the world around him seemed to respond, as if it too was waiting for the moment when Theo would share his dream with the world. His heart swelled with anticipation, knowing that this was just the beginning. As the sun rose higher, the forest around him seemed to glow brighter. The morning light shone through the trees, casting long shadows on the path. It was as if the world itself was waking up, just like him, ready to embrace the dreams he was carrying. Theo smiled to himself. Whatever lay ahead, he was ready to share his dream with the world. Theo continued walking, the golden light from his seed now spreading beyond the forest and into the world. The village in front of him was bathed in a soft, warm glow, and he could see people beginning to stir from their homes. He knew that the journey he had started would soon touch many lives, and as he stepped into the village, he felt a quiet sense of fulfillment. This was why he had come. This was the moment he had been waiting for. The streets of the village were quiet, but there was a stillness in the air, as though everyone was waiting for something. Theo walked through the village, his seed's light spreading in gentle waves, touching the homes, the flowers in the gardens, the trees, and the people who were waking up to their day. He felt the dream inside him grow, knowing that with each step, he was planting seeds of kindness, courage, hope, and peace. As he walked past a group of children playing in a small courtyard, one of them looked up and smiled, his eyes filled with a spark of wonder. Theo smiled back, and for a moment, he felt the connection between them, the child's joy, his own dream, and the shared light of the seed. It was a simple, quiet exchange, but it filled Theo with a sense of purpose. This was why he had planted these dreams, not for himself but for the world. The village began to wake up in earnest, the light from the seed casting a peaceful glow over everything it touched. People emerged from their homes, their faces brightening as they felt the warmth of the light. Theo didn't speak. He didn't need to. The seed he carried, the dream he shared, was speaking for him. It was reaching into the hearts of the villagers, offering them the light of hope, the strength of courage, and the warmth of kindness. Theo walked on, knowing that his journey had only just begun. There were more dreams to plant, more people to touch, and more light to share. He was ready, and with the seed in his hand, he would continue to spread the magic of the dream garden, one step at a time. Theo continued to walk through the village, his heart full of quiet joy as he watched the transformation around him. The golden light from his seed had spread through the village, touching everyone it reached. The atmosphere was different now. The villagers, once burdened with the weight of their daily lives, now moved with a renewed sense of purpose, their faces softening with kindness and hope. As Theo passed by the local market, he saw a woman helping an elderly neighbor with their basket, a group of children sharing their toys in the courtyard, and two men exchanging a smile as they worked together on a task. Everywhere he looked, small acts of kindness were blossoming, just like the dreams he had planted in the dream garden. It was a simple moment, a group of villagers sitting together, enjoying a meal and talking quietly. But in that moment, Theo realized how far his dream had already traveled. It was no longer just a dream he carried in his hand. It was a living thing, spreading warmth and light wherever it went. As he walked past a small garden, he paused and smiled. A child had placed a single flower in the ground, one of the flowers from the dream garden, a symbol of kindness and growth. It was small, but it was real. It was a seed that had been planted in the heart of this village, and it would continue to grow with each act of love and care. Theo's journey had begun with a single seed of light, and now that seed was spreading its roots, reaching deep into the hearts of the villagers. He knew that the dream would continue to grow, even after he left. It would travel to other places, touch more lives, and inspire others to plant their own dreams. With a final glance at the village, Theo knew it was time to continue on his path. There were more dreams to be shared, more people to inspire, and more hearts to touch. But the light from the seed in his hand would always guide him, just as it had in the village. And as he walked away, the golden glow from the seed illuminated the path ahead, filled with endless possibilities. As Theo continued his journey, the world around him felt different. The air was lighter, filled with a sense of promise and quiet purpose. The seed he carried in his hand still glowed, but now it felt less like a symbol of a single dream and more like a living thing, alive with the energy of all the dreams he had planted and shared. The path ahead remained clear, bathed in the soft golden light from his seed. Each step he took felt purposeful, as though the world was guiding him, gently urging him forward. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the faint echoes of the village he had just left, its laughter, its smiles, and its quiet moments of connection. It was as if the world itself was waking up to the light he had shared, and he could feel the connection between his dream and the world growing stronger with each step. Theo knew that his journey had only just begun. There were still many places to go, many people to meet, and many dreams to plant. But with each step, he also knew that his light was already reaching farther than he had imagined. The village had felt the warmth of the seed he carried, and now it was time to take that light and share it with the rest of the world. As he walked, Theo looked up at the sky, the sun now fully risen and shining brightly above him. The light from the seed in his hand seemed to merge with the light of the sun, creating a golden path ahead. He knew that this path, no matter where it led, was his to walk, and the light of the dream garden would continue to guide him. With every step he took, the dream grew stronger, reaching out to touch the hearts of those in need, offering them hope, kindness, courage, and peace. And as Theo walked on, he felt the weight of his journey becoming lighter, for he was no longer walking alone. His dream was with him, and it was spreading far and wide, just as it was meant to. As Theo continued on his path, he felt a deep, calming peace within him. The journey that had begun with a single glowing seed was now spreading across the land, touching every corner of the world in ways he could never fully understand. The seed's light pulsed steadily in his hand, guiding him onward. But with each step, Theo knew that the journey was not just his own. It was the journey of all the dreams he had planted, of all the lives he had touched, and of every person who had helped carry the light. The wind picked up again, gently rustling the trees around him, and Theo smiled. It felt as though the world was whispering to him, guiding him, encouraging him to continue. The whispers weren't just from the trees. They were the voices of the dreams, of kindness, courage, hope, peace, and adventure, calling to him as they spread across the world. Theo knew that his part in this journey was only one small chapter. The seed in his hand was no longer just his own. It was part of something much bigger. It was part of the world, part of the people who would carry its light, plant their own seeds, and pass on the gift of dreams to others. His journey was a single step in a much larger story, and that thought filled him with hope. He reached the edge of the forest, where the path opened up to a wide, open field. The morning sun was higher in the sky now, and its light blended with the golden glow from the seed, creating a bridge of light between the earth and the sky. Theo stood there for a moment, taking in the scene before him, the beauty of the world, the magic of the dreams he carried, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. The seed in his hand pulsed one last time, brighter than ever before, as though it had come full circle. Theo understood now. His dream, and the dreams of all the people he had met along the way, would continue to grow, continue to spread, and continue to inspire others. This was just the beginning. The light would never fade. It would always find its way back into the hearts of those who needed it most. Theo smiled, feeling the light of the dream garden shining within him, knowing that his journey would never truly end. The world was full of dreams, and now it was up to everyone to nurture them, share them, and watch them grow.